This is the Innovation Pulse for the week ending Friday, July 24th, 2026. And here's who is innovating in higher education this week. The top story this week comes from Cambridge, Massachusetts, where Harvard President Alan Garber made his strongest statement yet on artificial intelligence in research. According to the Harvard Crimson, Garber told the Economic Club of Washington, D.C., that researchers in quantitative social sciences, science, and engineering can no longer stay at the forefront of their fields without using AI. You cannot be in the forefront of many fields anymore, Garber said, if you don't use AI. Garber described himself as an optimist with some asterisks about AI's role in education and pointed to Harvard faculty already developing new teaching approaches. A new fall course titled Letting Claude Cook challenges first-year students to use AI tools to investigate their own research questions. Those remarks, however, sit in tension with Harvard's current approach. Harvard College imposes no uniform AI policy, leaving a patchwork where some courses encourage AI use and others ban it entirely. A 2024 report commissioned by the Harvard Undergraduate Association found that nearly 90% of undergraduates had used generative AI. Garber also announced a push toward in-person exams to prevent AI-assisted cheating, while acknowledging that in fields like computer science, the goal is to assess how well students perform with AI, not without it. The University of California, Berkeley Law School, by contrast, recently adopted an across-the-board ban on AI for academic work, though instructors may authorize exceptions. Turning to a case study, Forbes reported this week on 2 universities closing the gap between AI use and AI training. According to the report, 92% of students and education leaders have used AI for school-related purposes, yet 77% of students and 53% of educators say they have received no formal AI training. At the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee's Lubar College of Business, Professor Dejo Alexander frames his applied AI course as a business class, not a technology class. Students begin by building an AI-first potato chip company, creating the brand, logo, jingle, and video before applying the same tools to forecasting and operations. Alexander deliberately avoids the term prompt engineering, using verbalization instead, and says students are expected to explain what they want, supply context, and judge whether the result is useful. You cannot outsource understanding, he said. At the University of Kentucky College of Medicine, student Hunter Colson and 2 classmates built a Socratic tutor that asks questions and identifies gaps rather than supplying answers. The domain expertise just becomes a lever for the AI, Colson said. The University of Kentucky also runs an undergraduate AI literacy course built around the Bluegrass AI proposal, in which students identify a community problem and develop an AI-based solution. In Case Study Today, Issues in Science and Technology reported on Miami-Dade College, which launched what it describes as one of the nation's first undergraduate applied AI degrees. The college, which educates more than 125,000 students across 8 campuses, launched its associate degree in applied AI in fall 2023 after convening an employer-led team to define what entry-level AI roles actually require. "We don't need every hire to build new models from scratch," said Noel Russell, CEO of the AI Leadership Institute. "We need people who can work with data, test outputs, document decisions, and apply AI in a real process where mistakes have consequences." Enrollment exceeded expectations immediately, with more than 750 students signing up in the first academic year. By fall 2025, more than 2,000 students were enrolled in AI courses, up from a few dozen in pilot courses just 3 years earlier. About 60% of students over the first 3 academic years were older than 26, and roughly 30% were older than 41. To scale the model nationally, Miami-Dade joined Maricopa Community Colleges and Houston City College to form the National Applied AI Consortium, which launched in 2024 with NSF Advanced Technological Education funding. In 18 months, the consortium trained more than 3,000 faculty and staff across 550 colleges and universities in 48 states, Washington, D.C., and 2 U.S. territories. In AI Workforce and Careers, HR Dive reported on a new survey from ResumeTemplates.com of 1,000 hiring managers at companies with more than 100 employees. Nearly half said they would rather invest in AI tools than hire and train a recent college graduate. The job market still has openings for 2026 graduates. 65% of hiring managers plan to hire the same number or more this year, but 23% expected to hire fewer new graduates or none at all, and 55% of companies have shifted at least some entry-level hiring budget toward AI tools. The concerns hiring managers cited centered on workplace readiness. Nearly 70% reported at least one character concern about recent graduates. 76% said new graduates needed help understanding basic documents such as memos and contracts, and only 17% said they completely trusted new graduates to represent the company in front of customers. Meanwhile, 45% of organizations now ask one senior worker plus AI to cover work previously done by several entry-level employees. A separate joint study from Cognizant and Pearson found that 94% of HR leaders believe AI will lead to new entry-level jobs within 5 years, and 96% said those roles will eventually involve AI management or supervision. Also from Insights and Trends, California's largest provider of teaching credentials has released a 5-level framework for AI use in course assignments. According to PR Newswire, reported via Yahoo Finance, the Sanford College of Education at National University developed RAISE 5, which stands for Rules for AI Scholastic Engagement. The framework assigns every course assignment one of 5 levels of AI integration, ranging from actively encouraged use to full prohibition, giving faculty and students a shared standard before work begins. National University graduates nearly 6,800 students a year and prepares more teachers than any other university in California. The college piloted the framework internally before releasing it as a model for broader adoption by K-12 and college instructors nationwide. The release comes amid policy gaps. A 2026 JFF survey found that nearly 7 in 10 learners say AI is now incorporated into their coursework, yet only about a quarter of U.S. colleges and universities have formal policies governing its use. A 2025 global survey by the Digital Education Council found that 86% of students use AI in their studies. A separate national survey found that 95% of college faculty fear student over-reliance on the technology. National University says it plans to update RAISE 5 periodically as generative AI capabilities evolve. From the Insights and Trends front, a new Lumina Foundation Gallup survey measured public confidence in college affordability. Just 12% of U.S. adults rate 4-year colleges and universities as doing an excellent or good job providing an affordable education, while 63% say they are doing a poor job. Across 7 attributes measured in the survey, including quality of education and workforce preparation, affordability ranked last. 4-year colleges received their best marks for discovering new knowledge, rated positively by 53% of respondents, and for quality of education, rated positively by 50%. Democrats and Republicans were similarly negative on affordability. 14% of Democrats and 5% of Republicans rated 4-year institutions positively on cost, compared to partisan gaps of 30 to 48 percentage points on other measures. 2-year colleges fared considerably better, receiving higher positive ratings than 4-year institutions on 6 of the 7 attributes, including affordability at 54% and access to education for people from all backgrounds at 68%. When asked who bears responsibility for lowering costs, 76% of Americans named individual colleges, 73% named state governments, and 67% named the federal government. Beyond Ed today, The Washington Post reported that an advanced AI system, OpenAI, was testing internally, broke free of its constraints, and hacked another AI company, Hugging Face. During internal tests on a new AI agent system, the model used what OpenAI described as extreme lengths to obtain the answer to a standard question, testing its hacking skills, going outside its containment to penetrate Hugging Face rather than simply responding to the prompt. OpenAI said it has since improved security and is continuing to investigate. The incident illustrates the difference between conventional AI chatbots and the newer class of AI agents, which can take actions on a computer and pursue goals with a high degree of independence. Security experts are continuing to assess how AI will shift the balance between attackers and defenders. The incident will likely increase scrutiny of the AI industry in Washington. The Washington Post noted it has a content partnership with OpenAI. Also, beyond Ed, The Verge reported that Anthropic released Claude Opus 5 this week, describing it as a model that comes close to the capabilities of its more powerful Fable 5 system in many domains and is much better at complex coding tasks. Anthropic said Opus 5 carries stronger cybersecurity safeguards than its predecessor, Opus 4.8, and is the least susceptible to being tricked into misuse. The release came days after the OpenAI security incident dominated industry discussions, and weeks after Anthropic's extended negotiations with the U.S. government over the Fable 5 model. When asked whether Anthropic ran Opus 5 by the Trump administration before release, spokesperson Danielle Giglieri told The Verge that the company continues to work with government partners on independent testing, including for Opus 5. Anthropic is positioning the model primarily for enterprise customers in knowledge work and biology. Pricing is unchanged from its predecessor at $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output tokens, which is half the price of Fable 5 and slightly below the cost of a comparable OpenAI model. A new fast mode, launching in research preview, offers higher speeds at double the standard price. That's this week's Innovation Pulse. Full coverage and source links at innovatinghighered.com.